and gentlemen, happy Sunday and welcome to Skyman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. Kenyans have been involved in a serious discussion about the topic of leadership. And there are some people who want to compare Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. What we have seen, a number of UDA supporters are of the opinion that William Samoei Ruto is a better leader compared to Uhuru Kenyatta. But the funny thing is that they don't want William Samoei Ruto to be compared to or with Mwai Kibaki, the late Mwai Kibaki. How do you explain a man who took over leadership on a wheelchair? How do you explain a man who, amid crisis, was even able to share power 50-50 with his strongest opponent, Raila Amolo Odinga, after a serious conflict? That is the post-election violence. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, the reason why this topic is coming up is because of the raging floods. It's because of the many crises that are happening in this country. For one, William Samoei Ruto has been unable to solve the doctors' crisis, and that is lack of good leadership. He has been unable to solve the issues of the intern teachers and doctors. And now we have the floods. William Samoei Ruto has been accused of lacking empathy. He has been accused of a don't care attitude. Remember, Jimmy Wajige describing William Samoei Ruto as a don't care Ruto. So how do you measure a man? I want you to listen very carefully. A speech by Uhuru Kenyatta, I think it was in April 29th, 2022, when he was explaining how to tell a good leader. Listen.
As he is when he bags a win. Do you measure a man by how he treats his peers and equals, or how he treats his subordinates? Do you measure a man by what he started, or by what he finished? Do you measure a man by how he handled his finest moments, or by how he handled his lowest moments? If you want to know the true measure of a man, watch what he does with power.
Yes.
How he handles his opponents, how he treats his wife and family, and what he does with his influence.
Yes.
But fundamentally, as Martin Luther King Jr. taught us, and I quote, the true measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands in times of challenge and difficulties. End of quote.
Yes.
In other words, the true measure of a man is how he behaves when misfortune hits. And the question before us today,
ladies and gentlemen, where does William Samoei Ruto start in time of crisis? Because that is how you measure a man, not where he stands during the time of comfort. Because most of the time, we have seen UDA guys clapping, even when it is very, very unnecessary. When you look at William Samoei Ruto is a detached kind of leader. If you look at William Samoei Ruto, I know I observed William Samoei Ruto and Gachie, and I've seen something, including Kimani Ichung'wah, these leaders in UDA. There is an obsession with the umbrellas. They want other leaders, other guys to hold the umbrellas when it is raining. And I'm asking myself, how difficult is it for them to hold their own umbrellas? Why bother a man? In fact, you are stepping maybe on the mud, on stagnant water. Na sasa unataka the bodyguards to cover you with the umbrella. I remembered seeing the king. Nimeona King kule Mombasa when he came. He was holding his own umbrella. I also remember Barack Obama. I remember watching Barack Obama being rained on and carrying his own umbrella. Then I'm looking at our leaders, and then I'm asking myself, do they know that leadership is about serving the people? Do they know that leadership is not about comfort? Do they know that leadership is not about themselves, but about other people? Ladies and gentlemen, when I look at our country, I see a problem of leadership. When I look at our cabinet, I see a problem of leadership. When I look at the policemen at the top, there is a problem of leadership. When I look at the judiciary at the top, there is a problem. When I look at the executive at the top, there is a problem. When I look at our legislatures at the top, there is a problem. So, how do you tell? How you see what we are saying here? This conversation was started by UDA guys, and they are trying to show us that William Samoei Ruto, the God-chosen president, is executing everything with military precision. They are telling us William Samoei Ruto is there for the nation, is there to do what he is expected to do, and is doing. In fact, he's exceeding expectation. That is the message that they want to tell us. And the reason why they also started this conversation is because Kenyans have been criticizing the approach of William Samoei Ruto and his government to the raging crisis. Because, for example, we have always opined that, you see, when there's a crisis, you also need to come up with a solution. You want to look at, for example, the crisis of housing. You look at the crisis that was as a result of demolishing houses in Mukuru kwa Ruben. So instead of the government first establishing homes where they would settle these people, and then if they wanted to demolish the houses, if they were a threat to the resident, they started by demolishing the houses amid floods. It was raining. We have had people complaining, asking the government, where do you want us to go? We have seen the government telling people to move to higher grounds without clearly explaining what they mean with the higher grounds. Where? You see, that is what we are talking about. Because I've also opined that if you look at all sectors of our country, they are crying for leadership. If you look at the education ministry, you see lack of leadership. You see crisis in the Ministry of Health. You see crisis in the Ministry of Agriculture. You see crisis everywhere. Even in the Council of Governors, you see crisis. So where are our good leaders? Where are our good leaders? Because it look like watu kama Kibaki, watu kama Tomboya, are very, very few in our country. And these are the kind of people that our country desperately need. I think it would be a very big mistake if Kenyans can vote for UDA in 2027 to return these people